Okay, hi, we've got here not Star Wars but Black Hole, and today is Halloween, 31st of October 2012, and it's quite opportune that these arrived this morning. I've got them off eBay at really good prices because these are quite expensive things usually, and these are Black Hole figures. So the Black Hole was the Disney film that tried to, back in '79, tried to capture some of the impetus of Star Wars, which was such a smash back then, and it was quite a flop. I mean, I went to see it back in those days. I quite liked it, but I was only 9 at the time, so you know. And these are the minifigures that were made, same sort of scale as Star Wars figures, 3 3/4 inch, and they mainly made human characters without any accessories, and they were made by Mego. And these are the droids. The droids are a lot rarer. There's 3 series in this range, and the droids are the rarest ones. You've got Maximilian here, the red one. He's the sort of villain, very famous because he's got claws that come out and spin around, and he shreds his opponents apart. And we also got Vincent, the sort of equivalent of R2-D2, friendly little robot. And also in the news last night was the news that Disney has also bought up LUCASFILM. So it's quite opportune. That's why I'm saying it's quite opportune that these arrived today, because you've got a sort of Disney connection to, well, sci-fi films and Star Wars. Also Mego had the chance to make the original Star Wars figures back in '78, and they passed on it, and the license went to Kenner, who's been sort of involved with Star Wars, well, with Hasbro as well now. But so these are really nice Black Hole figures. These are Italian cards. They were sold by GIGI, and Italian Power of the Force Star Wars figures also have the GIG logo on them. So these are really nice. They're graded, both graded 80 overall. The Vincent is Series 2 Mego Gig Black Hole. Card gets 80, bubble 85, figure 90, and it's an archival case. Overall it's at 80 near mint. And Vincent, I mean Maximilian, he's overall 80, card gets 80, bubble 80, figure 85. And he's not archival though. Low populations of these two. If you check out AFA, it's about 3 or 4 of the Vincents and 5 of the Maximilians graded on the Italian gig cards. There's probably a lot more on the Mego US cards. Okay, so really nice front card. Generic card. The only difference is the sticker which says the character's name in the top. It's got Vincent and Maximilian. Nice though, because they're Italian cards, you know. They're foreign, look pretty nice. Made in Hong Kong, the figures. I can't read Italian, so I can't really say what it says in the top corner. We'll look at the Maximilian first. There's the figure, and the card, really nice. Okay, and then we'll look at the back of the card, which is really interesting as well. So you've got the human characters plus the robots. The robots with a robot SENTRY, which I've got, and a US card ungraded. Vincent, the robot there, which I've got today. Maximilian in the middle. Star, which is really rare. Old Bob, which is really rare. And Humanoid, which is a legendary character. That's the Humanoid there. That is a really super rare character, up there with the Vinyl Cape Jawa, the Mego Romulan, super rare figure. If you check on Google, just type in Black Hole Humanoid Mego, and you'll see how rare that figure is. And it's a great figure as well. The human characters aren't as good, but they're a lot cheaper, a lot more affordable. Lowest I've seen is the humanoids. You could get maybe Dr. Kate McRae in the US for about $7, carded, which is very cheap. These robots are a lot more pricey. There's Maximilian. Comes on a stand, action figure stand. Let's see if I can get him a bit closer. Not a bad figure. Has a swivel head, swivel arms, little flaps, directional flaps, but it's quite a good figure. There's Maximilian. And I'll show you Vincent now. So Vincent's got his head down. Great little figure. It's a bigger case because of the bubble size. Okay, Vincent is quite a nice Italian carded figure. Has little thrusters, his head moves up, comes with 2 blasters, 2 movable arms, 2 retractable legs, and an action figure stand as well. Even loose, this figure goes for about 20 to 50 quid. Same with Maximilian. So, you know, both are really nice. Same card back. I'd like to get Star one day, maybe. Humanoid is out of my range. I'll never get that one. Old Bob, he's like Vincent but beaten up. There's a robot SENTRY on eBay at the moment. I'm tempted to get that, but it's a US card. And then you've got Dr. Hans Reinhardt, he's quite good. There's also some magnetic figures released in Italy. And, you know, now with Star Wars being owned by Disney, this is a sort of interesting reference to when Disney tried to do Star Wars back in the 70s. And they didn't do it well. But these figures have sort of gained a sort of, the film's gained a sort of cult status now, and the figures are quite highly collectible, especially the robots like Maximilian, Vincent, Old Bob, Star, and of course the humanoid is the legendary figure. Really rare. Okay, so I've got a lot to review today and I want to get it all done, so that's these two, the black hole figures. You've got the Maximilian, which is a great character, sort of the villain of the film. Quite ruthless. It's good at the end of the film when he's holding Dr. Hans Reinhardt after they've gone through the black hole. And you've got little Vincent there. Great figure as well. Okay, so that's your two black hole figures. And on the issue of Disney being taken over LUCASFILM, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think, you know, back in '78 we were promised 9 films, and it's like then you get Lucas doing the prequels and saying there's only going to be 6, and now we've got a chance of getting the next 3. Okay, Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher are pretty old now, so I don't know what role they'd have in these films, but you never know. But it means there's going to be a lot more Star Wars figures that, you know, look at the Clone Wars, that's a really good series. I mean, I've just watched season 4 on YouTube, and I just think it's amazing. So, you know, that's aimed at kids, so, you know. And there's a lot of great stories out there, like if the Thrawn trilogy, Heir to the Empire and all that sort of stuff, the Dark Horse, some of the Dark Horse stories. So there's plenty of material that Disney Lucasfilm could draw from and make into animations or movies, so, you know. And I think there's talk of some sort of Boba Fett movie. That would be just great. I don't think the guy that played the young Boba Fett would be the right choice for the actor. I think you need someone a bit more stature, a bit more gravelly, and more, you know, with more cachet and actor appeal, star appeal. But, you know, anyway, that's my 2 cents or 2 on the Disney takeover of Lucasfilm. I don't think it's a bad thing. You know, look at these figures, they look wicked on these cards. So, and this is Disney's first attempt to cash in on Star Wars, so, you know, and the film has legendary status now, or cult status. I mean, it's not for everyone, and these figures just look, as they say, the dog's bees, as you say. Okay, so That's your Maximilian and Vincent, two great little figures. Okay, cheers, bye.
Trust that boy. He'll tear your heart out, steal your joy. You'll run for hours, hide for days, with a knife in your back. Yeah, she has her ways in love. Watched you fall, and swallowed whole, dry. Your eyes, my friend, I have seen the end of the world. Trade all I have is
A few other thoughts about Disney Star Wars is that, you know, Disney did Tron, that was a great film, 82, and they're not stupid, they're not gonna make, they want to keep the Star Wars fan base, they know it's got a massive fan base, and so they're not gonna really pull out stuff that isn't gonna be popular. And Disney makes more adult stuff. They've got the Marvel license. Marvel Avengers did really well, and you know, so I think it's not going to be such a bad thing. And you know, they've got the Star Wars at Disney. You know, the rides and the figures, the crossover figures. So they've got some experience with Star Wars, and I think they're ready to take on that responsibility. And you know, they're a capitalist company, and their primary objective is to make maximum money. So they're going to churn out more figures and films that are going to, you know, really bring the fans in. So, you know, I don't think things are going to really. I mean, I don't have any negative feelings about Disney taking over Star Wars. Lucas said he had enough, so you know, he had to, you know, retire and take things a bit more easy. He's getting old, you know, so you know, and so nothing to worry about really. And as you can see, these black hole figures, they look great. I've just bagged the Maximilian. I'm gonna hopefully the bags I've got will fit the this case for Vincent, because that's quite a big case because of the deep bubble. Looks really good though. Okay, so time to say goodbye because I've got a lot to show today. All right. Okay, this is a figure. It's not Star Wars, it's Black Hole. So it's from 1979. Disney made a film, Black Hole, to try and cash in on the Star Wars hype. I saw it in 1979. at the time, being 9, I thought it was great, but I just rewatched it. It's okay, but it's a bit, when you compare it to Star Wars, it's pretty weak. But the robots are cool. This is the SENTRY robot from the black hole, and it's quite articulated. It's about the same size as a Star Wars figure, and I think it's based on a Micronaut's body. So it's pretty articulated. It's got bendable knees, hips, twistable waist, elbows, wrists, and a swivel head. And it comes with one gun, which doesn't look like the gun it had in the film. In the film, it had 2 blasters, but the gun can fit in the holster there. It's got a holster on both sides, and there's the hand. So the SENTRY was one of the bad guys in the film, and there's a black version called Star, and he's a lot more rarer to find. One of the black hole figures, the humanoid, is one of the hardest action figures to find, and that's worth a fortune. So out of all the black hole figures, the humanoid is worth a lot of money. So I saw this on eBay recently. It's pretty cheap, so I grabbed it, and it was released by Mego in 1979-80. This one the SENTRY might have come slightly later, 1980, and then the 3 Old Bob, Star, and the humanoid would have come in slightly later. And I think they're just Italian releases. I'm not too sure about that, and that's why they're so expensive. So here you are. Looks quite cool, purple. There's another robot in this, Maximilian. He's pretty cool character as well. So even though the script was a bit lame, the film had some cool looking villains. These robots are pretty cool, and they're not too movie accurate. They look quite cool. I had 2 of these when I was a kid, so I bought these in Whiteley's back in 90. Well, it'd been 90. Okay, so the memory card just ran out. So I bought these back in the day, back in 1979 in Whiteley's, when it was like a department store. This is a famous store in England, London, and now it's like a shopping mall. But in those days, it's like a huge department store, and must have got them pretty cheap, because I had 2 of these SENTRYs plus a few of the other characters I'll show you on the back. So I did actually have these when I was a kid. So, and I thought the film back in the day was pretty cool, so I liked it. And the music's by John Barry, so the music's really good in the film. So if you've never seen it, it's worth checking out. And there you can see the gun, it's stuck between his legs, and is thus rather suggestive. Let's have a look at the back. There's the black hole at the bottom. They actually go inside. Okay, this is the back of the black hole Mego figure, SENTRY, and it says the black hole, collect all Mego's fantastic action figures for your own adventures into the future. And you've got the characters. So you've got Vincent. I think I had him when I was a kid. He's voiced by the guy, what's his name? Roddy McDowell, I think. He did the voice. He was in Planet of the Apes anyhow. And then you've got Dr. Kate McRae, beautiful geophysicist. You've got Dr. Hans Reinhardt. He's the main villain in the film. He's like the crazed scientist who wants to plunge the ship, the Cygnus, into the black hole. Then you've got Maximilian. He looks really cool. He's a huge monster robot, and his arms have blades on them which can rip people to shreds. Then you've got the Captain Dan Holland. He's the command pilot. He's the sort of main hero, played by Robert Forster. There you are, and his ship's called the Palomino. Then you've got Ernest Borgnine as Harry Booth, the troublesome reporter. And you've got Charles Pizer. He's like his Captain Holland's sidekick. And then you've got Dr. Alex Durant, Chief scientist, and he's played by, who is it, Anthony Perkins? Yep, Anthony Perkins. So these are the first wave of figures. So the SENTRY came slightly after this, and he's not shown on the back. Out of these ones, I think I had Vincent. I think I must have had Holland and Pizer, and I can't remember if I had any others, plus the 2 SENTRYs. So that's your Mego 1979-80 black hole figures. And so, nice back. This is their sort of Disney's slant on Star Wars, trying to get a piece of the action. The film didn't do very well. Okay, so that's your black hole figure, 1979-80, Disney, Mego, and there's the SENTRY. That's pretty cool. So there you are, not Star Wars, black hole. Okay, if you like this, rate and subscribe. Cheers, thanks for watching, bye.